Who could have predicted this? The national championship will take place on Monday between number 3 TCU, a TCU team that has 6 one-possession wins, and number 1 Georgia, the reigning national champions, the lone undefeated team in all of college football. Who could have predicted it? If you said you predicted this as your national title back in the preseason, you are lying to yourself. But guys, as Lane Kiffin says, get your popcorn ready because this is going to be awesome. This is going to be a great national championship game, and it definitely will be if it's anything like those semifinal matchups that we had just last week. But today, guys, here at the Gridiron Expert, we're here to predict everything you need to know for this game, everything you need to know for this national championship between the Horned Frogs and the Bulldogs, and of course, share our official prediction: who will be crowned the 2022 College Football National Champion. That's what we are here to decide today. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad that you could join us. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. We have our spread pick for this TCU Georgia game, the national championship, over on our website. We'll also have the spread pick for every single NFL playoff game over there. The playoffs are set to start in about a week and a half, and we'll have every single playoff game prediction over on that website. So if you want guaranteed money from a website that's producing over 70% winners in the bowl season, hitting over 70% of our bets in the bowl season, if you want that, thegridironexpert.com is the place for you. Not just now, but all season long. So go check it out. Again, the link down in the description below. So let's take a look at this game, guys. It's exciting for so many different reasons. Two teams that actually, when you break it down, are very, very similar. And we're going to get to that in a second. But TCU, give them credit. The team of destiny. 6 one-possession wins. One of those goes the wrong way, and they're not even here. So a lot of credit to Sonny Dykes and what the Horned Frogs have done this year, making their first national championship game appearance. They technically did win the national championship back in 1938 with Davey O'Brien as their quarterback. And how about coming full circle? The Davey O'Brien Award winner this year was their quarterback in Max Duggan. Pretty awesome. He's thrown for over 3,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions. Also has rushed for over 460 yards and 8 touchdowns as well. So 40 total touchdowns for Max Duggan this year, leading an offense that's averaging 41.1 points per game, 270 passing yards per game, and over 200 rushing yards per game. So talk about balance, talk about explosive, talk about a team that knows how to put up points, just like they put up 51 points against a stingy Michigan defense last week in the semifinals. Although I will say 14 of those points did come off of defensive touchdowns, which, again, more credit to TCU being a complete team and not just a one-sided team. So credit to them. We'll talk about their defense here shortly. Max Duggan, of course, is the key player. He was a Heisman Trophy finalist. He has put TCU on his back all season long. But he's got a pretty good supporting cast, too. It starts with Kendre Miller, who is questionable for this national championship game. As of this video, we expect him to play. Sonny Dykes said he's not exactly sure if he will or not. He got injured against Michigan. But Miller has rushed for over 1,300 yards and 17 touchdowns on the year. It's a big-time running back for the Horned Frogs. If Kendre Miller cannot go, though, Emari Demercado, who had 150 rushing yards against Michigan, will fill that void just fine. So I think TCU is pretty much set at the running back position, whether Miller plays or not. They also have Quentin Johnston, one of the best wide receivers in college football, over 1,000 reception yards and 6 touchdowns on the year. Had 6 receptions for 163 yards and a touchdown in that win over Michigan. So he's extremely talented. He can win those 50-50 balls. He does have that breakaway speed. He's got great size, great frame, but does have breakaway speed and is clearly Max Duggan's top target. So TCU, offensively, not going to have any issues in this game. They have the ability and the talent to put up points and put them up fast. They had 488 yards against Michigan, 225 through the air, 263 on the ground. So they can beat you either way. Beat you through the air with Duggan, beat you on the ground, doesn't matter. You want to take one away, doesn't matter. They're going to find a way to pick up the slack. TCU dangerous offensively. Same can be said for Georgia, though. People tend to forget about Georgia's offense. 39.4 points per game, 293 through the air, 202 on the ground. That's what they're averaging. They're led by another Heisman finalist, too. So a battle between 2 Heisman Trophy finalists. Stetson Bennett leading the way, 3,800 yards on the year, 23 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Led the game-winning drive against Ohio State, covered 70 yards in just about 5 plays through the 10-yard touchdown strike to win the game. He also has some solid supporting cast members as well. They have Kenny McIntosh. They have Dejan Edwards, both running backs with over 700 rushing yards. They have 10 players with at least 100 reception yards. And the top one, of course, is the best tight end in the country, arguably, and Brock Bowers. Georgia is not short of talent offensively. They have it. They have it. And they've got a veteran quarterback in Stetson Bennett, who some people maybe aren't still very high on, but he's a guy that did just lead them to that victory over Ohio State and did lead Georgia to the national championship last year. He has experience in this type of position. He has experience in this game. And they do a very good job of spreading the ball out. 533 yards against Ohio State in that semifinal game. 398 coming through the air. 135 on the ground. It is shown that even though if Georgia can't get the ground game going, Stetson Bennett can win the game through the air, just like TCU. If one of their dimensions is shut down, if they shut down Max Duggan, they can certainly pick it up on the ground and vice versa. Both offenses are so multi-dimensional that they're going to be tough to stop, even if you take one of their aspects away. You take a look at the defense. TCU, last week against Michigan, that was the difference maker for them. The difference maker for TCU in their win over Michigan was their defense. They had 2 pick sixes. 2 pick sixes in a 6-point victory. They recovered a fumble at the goal line. Michigan could have scored a touchdown there. They fumbled the ball. TCU got it. Touchback. And they had a goal line stand on Michigan's opening drive. Michigan had a 54-yard rushing play to start the game. They got inside the 5, probably down about the 2-yard line, and they couldn't score. TCU's defense held strong. So that's a lot of points left out there for Michigan. TCU's defense, the reason they didn't get them. TCU's defense, for me, more than anything, the reason that they won that game against the Wolverines. Only giving up 25 points per game, only 236 through the air, about 150 on the ground. And I'd say that number is a little bit concerning. I'd say it is. But they gave up 186 rushing yards to Michigan, a Michigan team that was averaging about 240 per game, and they still won the game. So I think TCU's defense can give up a lot of rushing yards to Georgia. I think TCU's defense is more of a bend but don't break type of defense. They can allow Georgia to rack up the yards. But when you get inside the red zone, we're not going to let you score. That's going to be the key here. Hold them to 3, not 7. 3-3-5 defense. That's what Joey Gillespie runs for TCU, and it's working out extremely well for him. 30 sacks on the year. They have forced 22 turnovers, 16 of those being interceptions. And yes, the Horned Frogs gave up over 500 yards to Michigan, including 342 through the air. But those 3 turnovers were huge. Those 3 turnovers were the difference. And again, they came through when they needed to the most. A bend but don't break type of defense for the Horned Frogs. If they turn in that type of performance again against Georgia, they will be the national champions. Georgia, defensively, get Kirby Smart as your coach. You're expected to have a pretty good defense. And this year it has been pretty good. But not as good as we've seen, and maybe not as good as we've expected. The Bulldogs are giving up this 12.8 points per game, so under 2 touchdowns per game. It's pretty dang good. 215 passing yards per game, so they're giving up only 77 rushing yards per game. And those numbers sound good. We're going to dive into those a little bit deeper, though. 30 sacks for the Bulldogs, not bad. 16 takeaways for the Bulldogs, not bad. But against Ohio State in the semifinal, 467 yards. That's what they allowed. 348 of those came through the air, and the Bulldogs did not force a single turnover. In the SEC Championship, they gave up 30 points to LSU and 549 yards to the Tigers, including over 500 passing. So that's something to be concerned about if you're Georgia here. The last 2 games against LSU and Ohio State, your defense has not looked good. 30 points to LSU, 41 points to Ohio State. Got torched through the air in both of them. TCU against Michigan rushed for 263 yards. I don't expect TCU to do that against Georgia. I don't. I think the Bulldogs are going to bottle that up. And if I'm Georgia, I'm hoping to hold TCU to about 150 rushing yards or less. About 150 or less, and you're in a good spot. I think TCU can get there. I think TCU can get 140. I think they can get 150. And if TCU can maintain that balance, because we know Max Duggan can air it out. They've got it. And we've seen teams torch Georgia through the air. This game could be a lot closer than people think. We've seen Max Duggan do it all. He's a mobile quarterback. He's got a great arm. He's got great size. He's got great weapons on the outside. And Georgia has not defended the pass extremely well. So if TCU can hit that 140, 150 mark on the ground and maintain that offensive balance that they had against Michigan, I think they can win this game. And Georgia has to be very, very, very mindful of that. The rushing defense, 77 rushing yards per game, not bad. It's a strong number. They got to make sure that holds true and holds firm on Monday against the Horned Frogs. So what's going to happen, guys? What's going to happen in the national championship game? An unexpected national championship game. If you told me in the preseason Georgia would be playing for it, I'd say, okay, that makes sense. That's understandable. They're a great football team. If you told me in the preseason TCU would be in the national championship game, I probably would have laughed at you. I think most TCU fans would have too. A good year maybe, but a national championship? No way. And yet here they are. Year one, Sonny Dykes has them in the national championship game, looking to win their first national title since 1938, really their first ever national championship game. The Horned Frogs, guys, they keep defying the odds. They are the team of destiny. The Hypnotoad has everyone hypnotized. They are the Cinderella team, and I think most people outside the state of Georgia are probably rooting for TCU. And you certainly cannot count out TCU in this game, especially if they get a fast start like they had against Michigan. If they get that fast start and Georgia starts slow, like they did against Ohio State, trailing by 14 entering the fourth quarter, watch out. But ultimately, guys, I don't think that's going to happen. I've picked against TCU all year, and I'm not picking Georgia because of that. I'm just saying it because I'm expecting a lot of comments about it. But I got to go with Georgia here. I expect this game to be high scoring. Both offenses can light it up. Both defenses can certainly be exploited. But I think you give Kirby Smart time to prep for this game, and he does. I think he's going to be able to shut down TCU. I think he's going to be able to find a way to make them one-dimensional. TCU has to remain balanced offensively to win the game. I think Georgia takes it away. I don't know if they're going to take away the pass. Probably not. More so the run. They're going to shut down the run and force Max Duggan to do it all by himself. Can he do it? Yes. But ultimately, he will fall just short. We should be in for a close, keyword, close thriller in this national title game. But ultimately, I am picking Georgia to capture their second straight national championship, and discussions about the Bulldogs becoming the next big college football dynasty will begin at the conclusion of this game on Monday night. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos. Of course, check out everything down in the description below. We have the spread pick for this game over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. We also have the spread pick for every single NFL playoff game over there as well, hitting over 70% of our bowl game picks, our postseason picks this season. If you want guaranteed money, this is the place for you. Go check it out. Link down in the description below. Once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.